Right.
And that's why it's important. Good morning. This is day 3 of Leaders Edge. Here I am, excited to be with you. Maria Antonieta Gomez reporting all the way from Houston, Texas, to share the experience overall. Now, yesterday was a full day, a power-packed lineup. We have so much today. This is part of the process of transformation that our guests, our attendees are experiencing right now. In fact, I have a gentleman next to me. How are you this morning?
I'm doing good.
Fantastic. Now, if you would please tell us your name.
My name is Keith.
Alrighty, Keith. So what do you think so far about not only the lineup, but the energy we have felt in this room?
I think the biggest thing that I found coming here was just like the unity that I feel, right? It's an energy that you can't find everywhere, right? You can't find it everywhere. And so people coming from, whether it's just Houston or all around the state, all around the country, you know,
even the world. We have people from Australia.
Take away a lot from this event.
What do we have for next year? Are you planning or having some objective for the next session?
Yeah, to be able to grow my business to multiple 6 figures and expand my personal brand and inspire and impact more people. Eventually do something exactly like David is doing right now. I see myself doing that in the next couple years, and so I'm excited.
Goodness. Like John Maxwell said yesterday, right? It's about the deed as well. Everything he has done so far, I'm sure you're working on that, Keith. We can't wait to see the results next year and then the year after here in Believe Nation. Thank you very much for sharing your story. And now we continue here. This is part of the I Believe experience. We are going to have multiple guests today, so you're going to hear different stories, different backgrounds, walks of life, and that's what makes this experience unique. It doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter your previous experience, there is room for you here because this is all about growth, this is all about getting to that next level, whatever it is that means to you. If we think about everything that we experienced, that we lived yesterday, it is a complex process of breakthrough moments. It is an experience that could shake you to the core, but that's exactly what we need sometimes to get uncomfortable, to step outside of that comfort zone and really believe in ourselves. What fills my heart with joy is when I get to hear all these stories from attendees from all over the country and all over the world, how you heard before. In fact, I have another gentleman next to me. How are you this morning?
Doing great. How are you?
Fantastic. What is your name?
Tyron Houston.
Now, Houston, I hope you are from Houston too.
I'm actually from Atlanta.
Oh my goodness.
It's crazy how I'm in Houston, last name Houston.
Correct. Is this your first experience?
No, man. I went to the one in July in Orlando.
Okay, fantastic. So now that you had 2 previous experiences, I mean, this is like 3 or you already have had most of it. What do you think so far is the biggest, takeaway from this, especially you have 2. So sometimes people wonder, is it worth it to go over and over again?
And one thing about that is, one thing David always talks about is he says faith is not by what you heard, it's by what you're hearing. So it's like a lot of people kind of hear that, I don't want to go to the event again because it's going to say the same things, but you got to understand that coming to these events is what continues to build your faith. So yes, like I said, I went to the one in July, and then I came to this one, I was like, wow, he said a lot of the same things, but it hit different. A lot of things that I didn't really understand before, when I heard it again, it hit a little bit different. And I tell people all the time, especially within my organization, I say, if you're going to these events and you're feeling like it's the same thing, you kind of got to work on your growth a little bit, because when you grow, you experience different things. So when you experience different things, now you're perceiving different things when you hear it, differently. So
it's like prepping your mind, prepping your heart, prepping your spirit for that next level. Sometimes people wonder, okay, what does that mean exactly, that you take it in a different way? And I like to simplify things, right? Because we have people here that are new in this industry, that are new in this field. And it's like taking a kid to Disney when he is 12 months, 11 months versus taking him when he is 7, right? Completely different experience. So that's exactly what we feel here. Now, what would you say from the last event until now? What has been the biggest shift for you?
For me, it's been, just developing within my leadership. And that's why I was so, I was so happy when at the last event when he said John C. Maxwell was going to be here, because I was studying John C. Maxwell beforehand. So I was like, it is no way I'm missing this one just to hear from him in person. So, within the past 6 months, I've just been really digging deep in leadership, because I've understood that leadership is the highest paid profession in the world. So I know that if I can become the best leader and I can help people become the best leader, I can also help them make the most money.
And it's also the one that demands the most. If we truly care, right, about people, and we truly show love for what they do and what they want out of life. Whenever we have these situations here that I'm in front of a person that is sharing their story, opening their heart, I hear it all, right? Everybody has a different story, something to say. But in your case, for those that are out there questioning if it's too hard to walk this path, that they don't have the same resources, that they don't have the same support system, that they have a lot of limitations or obstacles right now, what can you say to them so they realize that there is room for everybody here?
One thing that John said yesterday, he said, life is hard, but when you realize that it's hard, that's when it becomes easy. And that's something that kind of stuck with me, because it's like, you're right, like no matter what you do, it's always going to be uphill. No matter where you go, no matter, what endeavors you're actually going out to pursue, it's always going to be an uphill battle. And when you understand that and you embrace it, and you understand that no matter what I do, I'm going to have to go uphill anyways, I might as well take the highest road to get to the highest level of success. It may take a little time, but the best thing about success is falling in love with the time, because you really don't know when it's going to happen, but if you believe that it's going to happen, then it will. So.
And even hard, definition of hard changes, right,
exactly.
as we go. So thank you very much for sharing your story. It really, again, fills my heart with joy. I hope we can see you in the next event.
For sure.
So we can see what had happened since then,
For sure.
now. Thank you very much.
All right.
Have a fantastic Sunday. This is Leaders Edge. As you saw, we have so many stories and many more to come. We have incredible speakers as well, so people are getting ready for a day full of excitement, a day full of stories, a day full of golden nuggets, so we can grow, we can start believing that we deserve the growth. And that's another topic here that gets my attention. Do we truly realize that we deserve it? Do we truly realize that there's room for us? Do we know the impact that we can have, not only for ourselves, for the people around us, but even community, society overall, if you just take that step forward? I'm going to share with you another story. Good morning, how are you?
How are you? Good, Richard?
Fantastic, what is your name?
Richard.
Alrighty, Richard. So every day we are sharing stories here. Of course, everybody has a different story to say. I mean, same event, same scenario, but different perspectives, and that's what makes it so special. In your case, what's the biggest takeaway so far?
Biggest takeaway is definitely changing my perspective on how I'm going to run my business out of love and impact over income. I would say it's the biggest paradigm shift. Something that we've always been taught, but this was an event that really showed the stories that solidified that mindset coming into an organization. And I look forward to applying it into my business and into my community to really take things to the next level and really make that impact worldwide that we want to make.
Oh my goodness, the reason why I get so excited is because we have always heard that traditional leadership, right? And like you said, success, income, recognition. And lately I've heard the word love across the board, right? And especially with the younger generation, which tells me we are reevaluating the way we see leadership. Now, in your case, what does it transform to whenever you see yourself applying leadership with love before anything else around your circle and your community? How do you see impacting those around you with that concept?
Absolutely. I think it's starting first with quality of life. I think a lot of people don't necessarily have the right role model or the right system growing up to live a happy, fulfilling life. And so to have a vehicle where we can all increase financially, but at the same time be able to work on ourselves and to be able to just change the narrative of how we move as a people overall, I think is going to be the biggest game changer heading into the next decades. And I think just overall improving quality of life, habits, the way that we operate as people, money is just going to follow suit, and things are going to work out a lot better like that. So
And that takes me to a very complex subject that we have been facing. I mean, always I would say, but lately it's been there on top of people's mind, which is dealing with emotions and even depression sometimes because of that pressure, right? Of the standard of what we define as success, and the fact that you are talking about happiness, the fact that you are talking about what truly makes you feel good, and it really means the world to a lot of people that probably felt that they were underperforming before. Now, after hearing you, I always like to compare the perspective you had before this event and what you see yourself bringing to the table by the next event. How do you see yourself as far as specific results from this Leaders Edge event to the next I Believe experience?
100%. So I think taking the information that we learned from David, from John, and from all the other speakers that we've had here today is really, instilling again that new mindset of the way we handle our relationships, bringing it back into my business. I look forward to quantum leaping the organization from the hundreds of people that we have right now into the thousands, and really creating a new, fresh movement of new and excited leaders that are going to go ahead and take our platform, but the entire network marketing space and even the personal development space to the next level. I think that it's an industry that has started to get a lot more recognition from the general public, and I think it's time. It's time to really implement that into the standard of the world, and I look forward to increasing not just my income, but really just the impact we're making in Miami, Florida, where we're based at, and all my organizations in other countries like New Zealand, Australia. So it's going to be exciting.
Oh my goodness, I can wait to see it next year, and hopefully for the rest of the I Believe experience, as long as they continue to do it, and I'm sure it will be for years and years. Given the feedback, especially the younger generation, oh my goodness, I'm excited because they're the ones who are going to make big decisions in the future about this country, about the world in general. So I want to thank you very much for having the courage to share your story. Hopefully that inspires so many people out there that are just following the lead like you are doing in this event. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoy your Sunday.
All right.
This is the I Believe experience. As you heard before, it all started here. Someone had a vision, someone had the idea to impact 1 billion lives. And then that vision became results. Right? It started with a small group that became bigger and bigger, and now this is a massive event. You're going to see a big crowd, people walking around, people anticipating this event and already planning the next I Believe experience because they know it's completely worth it. They know this is what it takes to keep us accountable, to keep us going. We all could use a little bit of help. Hello, good morning.
Hi.
How are you? What is your name?
Marianne.
All right. Now, whenever we are here, we try to make it as simple and natural because people are watching and they might be wondering, okay, is this a setup? Are they real stories? And that's why I like to start there. What led you to be here today?
So, my husband and I, we come to these events to grow spiritually in our leadership, for our organization, for our business. And we've been coming to events like this, and so we missed the last Believe Nation, but we knew that we had to be at this one, and so it's exciting to be here. And I just feel like right now is more than a perfect time to be receiving this information, especially in our generation. And so, yeah, we had to be here. It was one of those things where you just had to be at Believe Nation event.
And it is one of the things I have noticed so far, that before people used to think that leadership, entrepreneurship was just for a certain age, right, and a certain generation. And just to see people taking the lead in their early 20s, I've been in even teenagers here, that truly warms my heart because that's where the future is. So what do you envision for this country and for even the world after seeing that people are investing in themselves because they want to get to that next level?
I think events like these are paving the way for the new future leaders of the world, and this information that we're receiving is allowing us to open up our mindsets to being able to experience more, to want more, to dream more. And when you give people our age the ability to see, dream, and be able to experience more, it's just going to open up so many different possibilities for technology and the way that we live, the way that we move, just as a society in general. So,
and it's like a fresh perspective. I think we are all ready for those changes. We had to adapt to the new times, especially after everything we have experienced for the past 2 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Definitely requires a new perspective of the world, and of course from people, always expecting the best, of course. Now, to put it into simple words, if you had to simplify what all the speakers have said in probably a few lines, how would you do it?
Raising the standard of your leadership and doing it with your creator. I think every single speaker spoke about God, spoke about our creator, who we came from, who we have inside of us. I know you said a little phrase, but it's just too much information to put.
It's complex, but you are doing a
phrase.
fantastic job. Yeah, it
So
is
it's
faith and belief at the end of the day. Fantastic. Again, congratulations for making it here, for taking the decision to take action, because that's what's going to transform your life and people around you as well. That's how powerful this is. Again, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy your Sunday. This is the I Believe Experience, Leaders Edge in Houston, Texas. Now we are, of course, getting ready to start the day with the lineup. We're gonna have incredible speakers, but remember, you can still join Believe Nation. If you go to believenation.com, you're going to see a red button there that says join now. You might be wondering, what exactly does that mean? Well, you can join the movement completely free, get information every single day that keep you accountable, that keep you on your toes, and that is truly what it takes to get to the next level. Get surrounded by people that are cheering for you. Get surrounded by a system that truly believes in your capacity and your possibilities. Good morning, how are you today? Fantastic, look at that pretty pig.
Thank you.
Now, what is your name first of all?
My name is Michaela.
All right, Michaela, what do you have to say so far about Leaders Edge?
Leaders Edge I've had a crazy ride, but so far it has been such a great experience. I love, learning more wisdom, and because it always helps you build yourself, and I think investing in yourself is like the best thing to do.
Now, whenever you say a crazy ride, I would like to dig deeper, because sometimes we oversee that these are real stories. I mean, people have made sacrifices, people have made mistakes, and they're still here, right?
Exactly,
They're still surrounded by probably one of the most successful people you would ever meet, all in the same room. Would you please elaborate a little bit about that?
Yeah, so when I came here, I actually started as a volunteer, and they didn't need my help anymore, so I was like, oh, and I didn't have a ticket to the event, so I was like, oh, well, now what? I don't have access in here. And my friend that I made on the volunteer team, she actually blessed me with a VIP ticket.
Oh my goodness.
So now today I'm here, and I'm just so blessed. It all fell into place for a reason, and yeah, overall it's just been a really cool experience.
So you're saying that you put yourself in a position where you were serving, because that's truly what volunteers do. You were serving, and just because you served, life paid her, pretty much, right? With this ticket, and now you're here to listen to all of these speakers, to absorb the knowledge so you can apply it in your life. How incredible is that? And I think that's a lesson on itself. Now, if you had to apply so far what you have learned in this event, how would you see it transforming your life for the next months, if not years?
One thing that really stood out to me was David talked about a seed in your heart and how it harvests pretty much, and that really stood out to me because I am in sales, so I do work with people all day, all different types of people, all different personalities, and you really have to adapt. And from his wisdom and his talk, he really taught me more how to handle people and how to lead with love, and I think that is the best way to do it. So
showing that you care.
Show that you care, yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, people think that sales is kind of that that, you know, chasing the person experience. And it's truly about caring, getting people what they need. But sometimes they don't even know they need, but it's going to fulfill, you know, a lot of their needs. For those that are right now watching that might be wondering if it's worth it to do it in person, any message for them?
I say do it because you will leave here with gaining so much more. You know, you will leave here with so much more knowledge, and you really build your character here as well. And not only that, but it's a great event to network and meet new people. And so I would definitely recommend
networking, that sounds very powerful. That's everything, right? For our professional life. Thank you very much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
This is more of the Leader's Edge here in the I Believe experience. Oh my goodness, we are getting ready because we're gonna have some speakers today, and that's why we have to be with an open mind, an open heart. Remember, people are talking about love, people are talking about heart. Everything should come from there, and that's what's truly going to impact so many people's life. This is Maria Antonieta Gomez. The I Believe experience will be right back.
All right, Believe Nation, how you doing? This is a day we've been waiting for many years. What is Believe Nation? Believe Nation is the most powerful achievement platform on the planet.
Welcome back to Leader's Edge. Today, day 3 of this I Believe experience. If you are wondering who we have today, well, I hope you get comfortable because it starts with Mr. Believe himself, David Imonitie. Then we're gonna have Kyle Wilson, of course, Twyler Portis, we are all waiting for her, Anthony O'Neill, the Miss Mo herself, Henrietta Mo Merriman Johnson, and then we're going to follow all these incredible leaders. But after that, Michelle Williams and Dr. Caroline Leaf. People have been waiting for these sessions. Now, what matters the most is the fact that people are gathering their thoughts, they're digesting everything that happened yesterday to apply it from today, so they listen from a different perspective. Everything these speakers have to say, especially what John Maxwell said yesterday. 2 hours of unlimited information and wisdom. 2 hours that are transforming people's life already. Now, here, just a little bit of a hint, because this is barely a hint of what happened yesterday, and this is what you could experience yourself when you join the Believe experience.
They can, and let me tell you something, they're not meant to be apart. They're meant to be together. Do not miss this. In a moment, I'm going to teach you why they have to be together. But before I teach you this point, for 40 years, I have had every month what I call a learning lunch, okay? A learning lunch is every month I go to lunch, I take somebody to lunch, I buy the lunch, I don't even eat. I just take them to lunch, and they're bigger than me, better than me, faster than me, smarter than me, more successful than me. In other words, they're beyond me. Are you with me? I take them to lunch, and I ask them 7 questions. I've done this for 40 years. This is life-changing stuff. I would encourage every one of you to begin practicing having a learning lunch. And you just find something, and say to them, you just say, I just admire you, and I look up to you, and you are successful, and I just have 7 questions I like to ask you. Maybe for you less questions or more questions. I happen to have 7. But I have questions that I would like to ask of you, and can I buy your lunch, and can we spend an hour and a half, and I can learn from you. And you'll be amazed at the people. So I've done this for 40 years, okay? One of the 7 questions I ask is, what is the most important lesson you've ever learned in life? It's a great question.
Which is the human side, the one that connects, the one that makes us vulnerable, the one that makes us imperfect, but still allows us to reach the potential. Now, this is coming from someone that didn't imagine doing this type of events or interviews in a second language. And it happened yesterday as well when he came across John Maxwell himself. He was very busy, but we could still get a couple of minutes, and you're going to see how special it was, not only the fact that he shared words of wisdom even more, but he took a minute as well to recognize a lady that is part of the John Maxwell team by pinning her for being one of the coaches. Here is what you missed yesterday. We continue here in Leader's Edge, and it's truly an honor to be next to my friend who happened to be on my left side. He's yours as well, John Maxwell. Now, John, I know you always like to make it completely natural, cordial, because at the end of the day, we are humans before becoming leaders. But I do have to ask you after this event, what would be that one thing that you consider could be dangerous for those, or a trait that would be dangerous for those that are becoming leaders or are in a position of power?
Well, I think leaders have to always take the people more serious than they take themselves. You know, leadership is always giving up. It's always serving. It's putting the people before yourself. So I always ask people all the time when they say they want to be a leader, I ask them why. I mean, why do you want to be a leader? Because leadership is responsibility, and it's serving others first. And so I think that when leaders kind of miss their way and lose their way, it's because they want the people to serve them instead of them serving the people.
And I love the fact that he's pointing here, because we all talk about mindset all the time.
Oh, it's right here.
And just today, you posted about the L's, and one of them being love. Can you just tell us a little bit more and elaborate what you mean with love?
Well, I think love means that you value people. And that once you value people, it's easy to love them. If I don't value you as a leader, I'll probably manipulate you, and many times I won't treat people correctly. So what is the safeguard to keep a leader's motives right? The safeguard is to value the people that you lead. I tell people very simply, if you don't love the people, don't lead the people. It's that simple.
Wow, it is that simple, and that's how he keeps it. He has had a very, very busy day, but he still took a minute to share his heart. Thank you very much, John. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Maria.
Now, we have a very important moment, because we have someone here who was part of your team, is part of your team.
Oh, yes.
And she dreamed with the fact of getting the pin by you, being pinned by yourself.
Oh,
so if
absolutely.
we would assist him with the microphone, please.
I would love to.
That way,
Yes,
she is
my friend. she is one of my coaches on the John Maxwell team here. I'm going to let you have this. Yeah, it's my honor It's my honor to pin this on me. This talks about JMT, John Maxwell Team DNA, and that's who you are, and that's what you got. And I'm really proud of you.
Thank you very much, John. As you can see, we are all sharing this wonderful story. Some people are kind of teary here because this is how much it means to learn, to be a student all the time, and to be able to get to the next level. We have right back, we're going to have even more about the Leader's Edge. Everything you saw was improvised. Everything you saw was completely natural. And that's truly what fills our mind and our hearts in the I Believe experience. It is starting right now, day 3. We're gonna leave you because we have a lot to learn, a lot to follow, and a lot to serve. This is Maria Antonieta Gomez. It's part of the I Believe experience.